Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how to create a layout based form. For that, we need to go to the admin screen, forms, layouts. This option will open a layout editor screen where we can manage the layouts. It will show all already created layouts and we can create a new one. To create a new layout, we need to click Add New Layout button. This will open a pop-up to create the layout. So this layout, let's create one. To create it, we need to start it with LBF. Only then it means it is an layout based form. I'm just going to create an intake form. So this will create a layout. Now we have to add groups. Inside groups we have to create the fields. So it is to create a group, first we need to add a group here. So consider in our intake form we have two groups, personal information group and maybe a clinical group. So we are creating the first group as personal information group. So in this group, let's consider we can have 2 to 3 fields. To add fields inside the group, we need to click Add Field button. So this is adding a field inside the group. To add field, either we can create a new field or we can choose any database tables to refer to. For example, since this is a personal information form, we can even select the patient table and point to the fields from the patient table. So for that, I need to select the source as patient, search for name. So the name, F name is the name of the patient that refers in the database. So I'm just selecting this and close. So it is text box, data type is text box and the size and the maximum size. I'm just going to give label call and a data call. So before creating the field, I will just explain what these columns mean by. Order is to in which order, so the sequence order that will place the fields inside the group, and the source, as I said, whether you are going to create a new field, you have to select form, else you have to select a table to which it points to in the database. So here in the patient table, it will point to the F name column, database column. So it will pre-populate the data whichever we are selecting. And this refers to whether this field is optional field or required field or unused. If you put unused, this field will not be shown in the form, it is unused. If it is optional, that means it is not a required field. If it is required, before saving the form, it will ask you to fill the form. It is a required field. And data type, we have many data types to choose from. We need to choose which one is apt for that field. And the size, width, height and maximum size, we have to populate it. And the list and backup list is suitable for the data type like list or radio buttons, checkboxes, for which multiple options are required. For that, we need to select a list to populate the data. And the label call, data call is to decide the placement of the field in the form. And the options, it has many rules to be applied. Predefined rules can be applied to the fields. There are many options predefinedly there. We will see that in this video later. And the code, this is if we are willing to attach any specific code to this field, we can do that. So after filling all the data. I have just saved the field. Maybe I will create another field. This one, I will just create a new field. That is, a form means we are going to create a new field. Maybe marital status. Data type. I just want to show you how list box works. So data type I will choose as list box. That is the marital status. Maybe we can pull the yes no list. So in the list, if you click, it will show the predefined list is already available in OpenEMR. Apart from this, you can create your own list also. So here for marital status, I will just pull the yes or no list that is already available. I've just selected it and filling the other details and saving the new field. So if you see the encounter preview, this will show how this form will look like in encounter, so that you can preview it, how it looks. So can you see the list is populated with S. Created another group. So let's have name as clinical information or diagnosis information, something. So in this, I'm just going to add text area. This is a big text area where we can enter texts. So let's see what are the options are. So for this, there are many options available. I'm just clicking here. Before that, if you hover over the box, it will show add modifiers for this field type. You may select more than one. So this is an extra modifier for describing the field. So when you click on this, I'm just selecting something to make the field visible. So exclude in portal. This means the name, as the name suggests, if this form is in the portal, this field will be avoided in the portal alone. So I'm just going to show you an option called description is default text. So as the name suggests, this means we can add default value to this field, and the description will act as the default value. So let's test here. This is our default diagnosis text. Let's check whether this is coming as a default value. I have to select this and save the changes. So it is saved. To test this, let's open the encounter preview and check. So it has the default diagnosis text as a default value, right? So this is how the options are worked. There are many options. I will show you a Word document which explains what are the options are later in this video. So I will show another thing regarding the description. So description is the placeholder. This means this will act as the description content will act as the placeholder in saving the changes, where when you go to the encounter preview, it is just the holder. When you click, you can type over that. But default value means an actual content available, so that you can use that as a default value. So default to previous value. This one is used to carry forward informations. So if for a patient in one encounter, if this diagnosis has some value, if another encounter is created for the same patient and this form is open, it will take the last saved value, default to previous value. Let's see how it works. I'm just saving this. Let's open a patient, test patient. I'm going to create an encounter or open a already existing one. I'm going to open the nephro intake form. Save. So I've already saved diabetes for nephro intake form. Let's go ahead and create a new encounter. So in this, I'm going to open the same nephro intake form. So it is populated with the previous value, that is the last previous value we put as diabetes. So this is how the option default to previous value works. Now I'm going to show you what is the group properties. So for this diagnosis information, there's a group properties. There's a checkbox, initially open group. When you check this, I'm going to submit it. It will open the box by default. See, so for this personal information, that is not on. So only for the diagnosis I have turned it on, so it is defaultly opening the group. Similarly, we can do that for the personal information also, initially open group. So it will open by default. And also there is an option called layout columns. So that at present this is default, but what this mean by is the number of columns you are considered, so that it will decide the placement of the fields. For example, I guess the default is 4, and we will try to put 2 over here and submit for the diagnosis information. Let's preview this. Can you see? So this, for this, the default value is 4. So it considered as 4 columns. So it shows like this. But here the column is 2. So the distance is like this. So this is helpful for aligning or making the UI look better and organized. There is an overall layout properties. So this has the overall layout properties. It applies for all the groups. Can you see the layout columns is 4. This is the default column, and the font size also we can control. Like this, there are many sections. If you want to include the diagnosis sections, product sections, services sections inside the layout based forms, we can add those. And if you want to add referral sections, all these will add an additional group into the layout based form. For example, if I select show diagnosis section and submit, so we have to check that in the real encounter screen. I'm going to refresh here and open the nephro intake form. So the diagnosis section is added, where we can add ICD codes. So like this, additional groups can be added to the layouts. For that, we need to use similar to that, we can add service section, product sections, referral sections. And if you want to open all the sections by defaultly open, we have to select this. This will apply for all the sections. I'm going to show how to use the checkboxes. Let's create a new field. And just putting what exams you have done and the data type checkboxes. In the list, let's select exams. So I'm saving this field. Let's preview how it looks like. So can you see all the exams that is already in the list is pre-populated as checkboxes. They can select multiple checkboxes and save in the encounter form. Now the same field, I will show you how it will be look like when we change this as checkboxes with text. I'm changing it and save the change. In the encounter preview, it will look something like this, where user can select and put some test or a comment on the test, and they can save. In the same field, let's make it as a radio button and see how it looks. Radio buttons and save. So this will look like this. So radio buttons, the user can select only one option. Only if it is checkbox, the user can select multiple options. And the same thing can be added as a list also. List box multi select list. I'm just putting as multi select list and save change. When you view as in a preview, it will be like this, where they can select multiple by clicking control and select multiple things. So this is how a group of items can be added either as a list, radio, or checkboxes. There are multiple checkboxes also, list also available, list box with add, comment, and search. You can try and check on that. In the layout based form, there is some additional features also available. Okay, if you see, there is a question mark over here. This is to add additional conditions for the existing field. If you click that, there is some logical operations. So this means for this diagnosis field, do something if a certain condition occurs. So I'm just going to show you a small example. So for this diagnosis field, I'm selecting hide this field. We can even set or unset the values. I'm just putting hide this field if the following condition occurs. So the conditions, for the conditions, we can select any of the fields that is available in the same form. We have F name, marital, diagnosis, and exam. So this have all those fields. So I'm just putting F name. Let's see whether this field is hiding if the F name does not equal to empty. Okay. So if this F name does not equal to empty, this diagnosis should be hidden. So this is the condition. So now I'm closing this. Save. Let's preview. See, the diagnosis is hidden because the F name has a value. Let's remove this and check. The diagnosis is visible again. So this diagnosis field, whether it should be visible or not, is based on a condition that the F name should be empty. If the name should be empty. If it is empty, it will be visible. If it has some value, it will be hidden. So this is the condition what we applied and it works, right? So similar to this, this is completely based upon the scenario what the user requires. You can create multiple options over here and you can test. As I informed you previously, this is a document of detailed description of the options column, different options in the options column in the layout based form. I'm just scrolling down so that you can pause the video and check what is the usage of each options. I guess this video will be helpful for you. If you have any specific doubts regarding the same or any clarification is required, please give a comment in the video below. We will try to answer that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for the upcoming videos. Thank you.